YouTube stream running as well. Okay. Headphones connected. Let's start some background music. Get in the mood. See. I feel like yeah. This is kind of loud though. Nice. All right. See. How do I? Yeah, no, that's not what I want. But all right. Let's change what the stream title says, because that's not really correct anymore. That this back where it belongs. Exactly. Stream title changed. Should be updating now. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so what is it that we're doing today? Today we'll be progressing in towards a minimum viable product for the engine, right? So that we have at least like an example game that we can show off to people that uses the engine. Doesn't really have to be a game even. It could be something as simple as I don't know, like the DVD example that we showed, but something a bit more sophisticated, right? So that we don't, for example, we're not using ImGUI windows to display the position of the game object, but like actually rendering, I don't know, something simple, right? Maybe even rendering gizmos. We can do that. But alright. Some reason the average stream bitrate says it's too high. Well, doesn't really matter. I don't have any drop streams, so should be fine. But yeah. So for that, we need a couple things. First off, let's clean up the main function, right? Yeah, let's clean that file up at least. Close this. You go into main. Yeah, we have no input at all. That's also kind of a big oversight currently. But input is like a bigger topic that we'll handle another time. But if we go in here, right, we have SDL gets initialized, all right, sure. The window and render, these need to be singletons so that we can pass them on to the Lua. The Lua what? The Lua environment. What we want. And yeah, we have Lua, the scene manager, sure. Initialize Lua, okay. Then we have the editor UI, Spark, that we want to initialize, right? That's everything from the scene graph to the panels to like the script editor and stuff. Then we create scene, right? Get the current scene. We can get the current scene because scene manager, when it initializes, it always initializes a scene, so you're never left without one. We check if the scene is correct, right? If like actually it was initialized, if we were able to get a reference to it. And then we create a game object in that scene. We give that game object the test component and a script component. Now we create two more game objects. We parent them to each other, and yeah, that's kind of it, right? I am kind of curious. Why do we initialize it only here? What does this do? Ah, yes. Okay. I remember. This is the start function, actually. The equivalent. I wrote it wrong. Equivalent of the start function in Unity. So yeah, anything you put in the overridden int function in your components, that's what's going to get called here, right before the game loop actually starts. Right? It starts with the engine, which is not something I'm not sure if I like that. Because, well, the engine is something separate from the game, isn't it? Right? Currently, they're not separated, so that's also something we need to do. Maybe separate engine from game. But for now, everything is just inside of this messy, kind of vague engine slash game state. I don't know how to describe it. It's not really, like, it's very vague right now. What is game and what is engine? Everything game objects do is engine based and stuff. Sure. But the game loop is running while you're actually supposed to make the game, I guess, right? Still. So that needs to be, like, we need a designated play button that actually starts the game loop and the game that you have made. And everything before that is actually you like messing around the scripts and the files and stuff. Like, you don't have to be updating the whole game state as we do kind of here, right, with the scene manager.update, while you're actually expected to still be writing your Lua files and setting up your game objects, right? But that's all right. That's not for today. Today, what I really want to do is, let's think about this. Initially, I thought I wanted to the human body is something like extraordinary, my man. Have you ever heard of something called codeine? I'm not sure if this like is something I can discuss here on Twitch or YouTube. But medication, let me put it that way. Painkillers. Take enough of those and you won't feel a thing. You're just salty because you're still feeling sick. Also, drink your water. But yeah, let me also like reel you guys into the actual reason why I want to do all of this, especially this week. Like the coming 2 days, this like most of what I'm discussing here should be done. And the reason for that is I am nearing the end of an internship, right? And as we're ending the internship, I've been asked by one of my what do you call it? My superiors, my supervisors. Yes, that's the word. To talk a bit about myself, right? To end the internship by giving them something to remember about me. And this is the topic I'm choosing. These streams, this persona that I have here, Mr. Axiom, and the Spark game engine actually. So I'm gonna do kind of like a pitch deck, kind of go over what my plans are for this and what I've already done. And yeah, that's kind of why I want to finish a lot of these features, these rudimentary engine features, and create like a MVP, minimum viable product game that I can say like, hey, I've been working on this during the internship in my free time, and this is what I have. So, and then maybe I don't know, I'll get a couple of follows, get a couple of viewers there, and yeah, we'll be on our merry way, right? But yeah, discussing, going back on the topic of actually creating stuff. So we are making the renderer a singleton, adding a lot of features, the basics, like rendering images, rendering textures, those kinds of stuff. We're gonna add the renderer and also the window information to the Lua global state, so that game objects can access that and then do whatever they want with it. And then after doing that, that's kind of the biggest thing that I want to do. I want to make an image component, right, or like a sprite component, kind of, that we can use to give game objects the ability to render stuff, right, to render images on their position. That's one thing. I want to have a collider component, right? Now the thing with the collider component is it means if I have a collision, right? How am I going to handle who gets notified? Like how the game object knows it has been collided with. The correct answer to this, there is a correct answer, is creating an event system, right? And making sure that the collider component sends out an event that anybody that is interested in it can subscribe to. So whenever that event is fired, that the subscribed game objects get like a message saying, hey, the game object you were waiting on to get collided with just got collided with, so do whatever you have to do. Which is the correct answer, but it's also the long way out, which I don't think I'll have neither the patience or the energy for. Nor the time, like, let's be real. I still have to do my internship for like a whole week. So we only realistically have like today, this stream, tomorrow, and Monday, because it's an off day. And then after that, maybe like a night or two during the week, but it has to be done until this Friday, right? We can fake a lot of stuff. We can take an approach like we should first decide actually like what do we want to show them, right? What is the example? What is the MVP that is that's going to impress them, right? But it's still within our means. I'm thinking, right? We could make this top-down Pokemon style 2D example, right? That would mean that we do a couple things, right? A top-down, right? This is getting probably a bit boring without any visuals. Let me open up something like Paint or something. Can I open up Paint and show Paint as like something? Let's try a window capture. Yes, a window capture. Paint. And then we have Paint, but it's completely dark. That works. Yeah, I think that should work. You guys should be able to see a Paint window now. So what do I do with this? Wait, let me just move this like that. And then we can transform and fit this in to the screen. Yeah. Don't cover my face though. Thank you. All right. Kinda weird how it's not really full screen. Let's try that again. Stretch the screen. Yeah. Okay. So a couple of options, right? Can I add some text in here? I think I can, right? Yes. One. Why does that not show well? Yes, okay. Make this a lot bigger, please. 48. 48, please. Thanks. So we could have a oh my, this is killing me. To the I don't know, RPG style game, right? That's what we could have. What this would mean is, can I move this? No, I cannot. Cool. Where's the move tool? Select. Okay. Here. So, if you go for this, what we do is, let's write that down as well. Render in Lua, that's what we're gonna need, right? A sort of image component, right, to display images or sprites. For this, we are going to need input. But there are a couple of ways we could handle input for now, right? Which is not creating a whole input system, but having some sort of like real-time input check, kinda, right? like every frame we could pull the current state of the keyboards or whatever. And I think SDL has a function for this. It returns an array of keys that are pressed that frame. And then if we just each frame in Lua updates that array in the global state, right? Then every Lua script can listen to the current input. And then what they would do is you could say in your game objects, like the Lua script update function, you could say something like if nope, not caps, but like something like input array and then I guess it would be something like a find function. I'm not sure how you do this in Lua, but you try to find it, right? Find, I don't know, W. And then this would be something like to lower or something, I don't know. That's something we could do. And then we'd have some very rudimentary input handling, right? What we could also do is we could send the SDL event. Yeah, because we have this SDL event object, right? And then the SDL event object does, I think, contain like does get updated if there's like a key press, and then you can check if a key has been pressed. The issue with that is I don't think you can like query multiple keys being pressed at the same time. Could be wrong, could be right, I don't know. That's another option we could do for input, but yeah. So if we do it like that, right, we could have input, right? But input is something we are going to need for this type of game. For the rest, right, some type of sound would be cool to be able to play sound. The issue with sound is that needs multi-threading, so you don't like stream in a sound file as you are updating, which causes hiccups and lag. And I really don't want to go into multi-threading yet, right? Because it's gonna need some preparation on my end. I need to look into how to do it in a good way, how I've done it before, like compare stuff. But yeah, so if you do like an RPG style game, this is kind of what we would want, I think. Can I move this? Yes, I can. Let's make this a bit smaller. Then what the hell? Oh, it's because I have white space. Make this smaller, please. Thank you. Okay. So, if you do this type of game, then yeah, that's what we'll need. Let's think. What else could we do? We could do just like a basic Pong kind of game, right? Let's go in here. 48, please. 48, please. Dang it. Okay. Pong is basic, simple, works well as an example actually. But for this you'd also need again the renderer and Lua, the image component for sure. Maybe not. Maybe you can just get away with the drawing directly to the renderer. Because I think SDL has some draw shape, like draw box or like fill box. Is that what it's called? Fill box, fill square? I don't know, something like that. Those types of functions. So you wouldn't need the image component, right? Which is good for us, right? Less work. But you still would need input, right? And a rudimentary AI, but that just adds to the what do you call it? To the wow factor, I think. You can get like a AI working, like AI. That's such a loaded term these days. Not AI, but well, game AI. Put it that way. Behavior. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, you'd have one player playing with W or S, like the up or down arrow, right? And then you need a counter, but that's just a game object. You need the background, just that's with the renderer. I'm thinking. Yeah, I think it does make sense, right? Doing this. Pong could work. Yeah, let's add some text. Make this 20. I think it was 28. Right? That's also the render, right? But yeah, for each type of game, I think you'd still kinda need like a play button separation between not playing the game and still making it with the engine side, and then like actually playing the game or like testing it out. Yeah, that's what we're going to need. Just Lua, thank you. And yeah, input, right? I'm kind of like trying to think of like edge cases or something, like something we would need, right? Yeah, the thing is, we also would need, against like with the render as well, the window, right? In Lua, which kind of the similar process as like the render, wouldn't take that long to do. It'd be easy enough. So let's think. What else? What I would really like, right? Some extra features, right? This would be like some kind of code highlighting in script editor. That would be awesome, right? then your keywords getting colored, kind of pushing you in the right direction, saying like, hey, you're doing stuff right. But even more than that, code completion slash IntelliSense, something like that. Like if that were possible, then we're doing something right. Other than that, it's the game engine version, kind of like the play button, right? Pop it up. What else? What else? What else? What else would be like a good feature to add to a game engine? That's like, you really need this. I'd like a kind of like asset browser, right? That would be also cool to have. But that kind of needs its own ecosystem, kind of. And with that, I mean, if you have an asset browser, right? You're going to use this to most likely like set up your components on the game, game objects. Yes. And currently there is no real way of doing that. Like, for example, an image component, right, doesn't really exist yet, but you would probably have like a field that stores a reference to the image that component should render, or maybe if not the image, the path to it. If you don't have like an asset browser, then you're expected to either find the path and then like write it down yourself, or some other way. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking aloud here. Let's see. I could write it down. Yeah, let me just write down asset browser. The asset browser, actually, like, it wouldn't be like an actual fully fledged file browser. I don't want people to try and, like, I don't know, mess around in their own files. It would show every subfolder inside of the resources folder that the engine provides. Let's put it that way. Oh, file saving. Yes. That's also something that would be nice to have. Saving, loading. But that's going to be like an interesting case, because saving and loading the engine, that's in our case not going to be really possible, because we're aiming to go browser based, right? So let's see. What would probably happen is there would be like some kind of file format that we come up with, something pretty simple in the beginning, some kind of JSON, I don't know, some modified zip file Not sure how we would do it yet, but every time you save, right, this kind of file gets saved somewhere on your disk. For a browser, actually, what we could do is we could save it in like some persistent cache the browser has, which would need like explicit deletion by the user to actually remove it. Otherwise, like if you don't do such a thing in a browser, every time you refresh, everything is going to reset, right? You won't be able to load in a previous session. And making a game doesn't like it sure depends on a game, but I don't think most people are gonna be able to finish a game, a polished game. Let me add that to it, in just one session of using the browser-based engine, right? So what we could do is we could have that persistent file. It would be like a zip file, I think, because it also has to have like the actual resources that the user adds to it, to their project. And yeah, this gets saved in the persistent cache. It will be like the zip file, and then the next time that the user loads in the same web page with the engine, you'd get a prompt, or like it would automatically load the last modified saved zip file in the user's cache. And for the downloaded version of the engine, right, because we're also gonna have that, this would just be like the same zip file, right? But yeah, and then we could like modify it between exports of the game and thinking, yeah, exports and normal saves. Saves are project saves, right? You're not saving a game. Saving your own game that you made in this, that's going to be a custom system that you have to design as developer. But yeah, sure. That's something else. Cool. We've been talking about this a bit too much. Let's get on with it. Saving, loading, yes. What else? Let me drink some water. Excuse the popping noises. Stay hydrated, guys. It prevents sickness. It boosts the immune system. Okay, let's think. What's something simple that can be added within like a relatively short time? What's something I am missing? Help me out, my one viewer, please. Give me ideas. Calling you out. Let's see. What could we do? Kind of curious. See. let's see. Did I? Oh yeah, okay, I did. I was just looking at the YouTube stream, just the settings of it, to see if everything's correct. But it seems like everything's correct. I guess the algorithm just doesn't want like to pick me up there yet. But it will, No worries. Just thinking. We want to save, load. We want the asset button, right? The asset browser, not the asset button, but we want the play button. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking adding the play button to it. I don't think that's that big of a change, right? The only thing is that introduces some state, right? Because in Unity, what you have is you have the play button, right? And when playing, it, I guess, saves the state of the game and all of the components of that game at the moment you press the play button. So let's say you have a speed variable in one of your components that's exposed to your to the inspector, and if the speed variable is 5 before you press the play button, right? Now you press the play button, and then while playing, you modify the speed value in the inspector, which you can do actually. It affects the game, right, in real time. But the moment you exit play, like the play mode, it reverts. So that kind of goes hand in hand with a kind of saving and loading, right? So not really what I want to do. That's gonna add a lot of work to handle saving and resetting and like lots of work. No thanks. What I could do, however, is add like the play button, right? And the moment you press play, everything except the stop button, or like the pause button or whatever, just disappears, right? The editor UI just doesn't show, preventing you from actually changing anything like game object or like component related. That could work, right? Something else we could do is we could create a viewport, right? And what this means is that like we would render everything actually game related, the scene, right? What you see with the blue background currently, inside of like an ImGUI window. And that's nice for a couple of reasons. One, it would actually like make the game look like an actual project, right? So your game is what you see, or what you're going to see, is what's rendered inside of the viewport. But yeah, I don't think we have enough of like what do you call it? Enough of like an infrastructure, I guess, like windows and like tabs to be able to pull this off correctly. But it's a nice idea, something we want to progress towards. But yeah, I think let's try and get the window and the renderer into Lua, and we'll see what we do from there. So let's do this here, window renderer, right? We have create window, create render. Init SDL and quit SDL, they can't stay, right? These are kind of lifetime functions. They have to be enabled to like be able to actually create the window and stuff. So it makes sense that they're in like kind of floating around the main function because they're very tightly related. Let's see. Let me check my phone for a second. Alright. Let's get this done. I've been talking about this for quite a while now. So first, let's first create a file, right? A new file, please. We can. No, this is not what I want to show. Where did this actually create this file? I have no clue. What the hell? Doesn't include, is it? Something untitled one? Nope, I guess it's still in RAM. Sure. But that's the wrong command. I think it's this. Yes, that's what we want. So, wasn't the components that we wanted, but okay. Just do a window.cpp. Right, yes, exactly where we want this. And then let's first start off by creating a file called window.h, right? This is going to be our API into the window class. So namespace Spark, and then we continue creating class window final, and then we have to close the class, right? We have just a default constructor, right? Let's call this default. We are, yeah, for SDL, I don't remember if we did this, but if we want to store like what this returns, right? The SDL pointer. SDL destroy render, yes, but what do you do with? Yeah, okay. So there's this concept in object-oriented programming, especially in C++, called RAII, written like this, right? Meaning resource acquisition is initialization. Kind of a weird name for stuff. Some sirens going on in the background. Interesting. But yeah, what it actually means is when you create something, like you get a resource, which in this case is this SDL window class, this object, right? It gets initialized by you, right? But that also means whatever initializes it is also required to be the one that cleans it up, right? So this means that if we have a window class with this SDL window, which creates the window, when the window class goes out of scope or gets deleted or whatever happens to it, right? It should also be the one to call SDL destroy renderer, right? It should also be the one to delete it. That's in C++, in object-oriented programming, the thing of destructors, right? That's what they are. They're the cleanup function. So you have this, and then you have default. Now, to be able to do this for SDL's window, right? We can't have defaults in here, because what default does is it tells to the compiler, hey, these functions, just generate them however you would, right? Just everything you have in this class, give them the default value that they need. And that does not cut it for, let's say, the SDL window object. Because what we want to do is, instead of having to remember to call here the SDL destroy renderer or like the SDL create window, right? As programmers, we don't want to remember this, right? Because this is tedious, this is error prone. That's the worst part of it. What we do is we use unique pointers, right? Or in general, we use smart pointers. And I can show you what I've done before with game object, for example. Here you'll see, for example, I've used smart pointers of components, right? I use them quite a lot. Here you have them, right? And then I try to use them whenever I can. Let's put it that way. And whenever I can is generally most of the time. But I know for a fact that if I have a unique pointer to an SDL window, that's going to give me errors, because what a unique pointer does is whenever the thing that owns it goes out of scope, right? If nothing references the unique pointer anymore, that unique pointer just gets deleted along with everything that like referenced it. Which means that you don't have to remember to call like cleanup codes or like destructors or whatever. For SDL, as you saw here in the main function, it doesn't have a destructor on its own. Like it doesn't, like it has an explicit cleanup function that it needs to be called. And the unique pointer is not gonna explicitly call that. One second, let's take a quick break. Let me just go get the door, because otherwise it's going to keep that person waiting outside. I'll be right back. Listen to some nice music. All right, I'm back. Got the door. And yeah. So if we go into the window class, right? What we want to do is say something along the lines of the unique pointer of type SDL window, right? This would be amazing, right? So the unique pointer SDL window, and then we say SDL window, right? And then we just default construct it, which is giving us errors because we don't have its memory here. Same with SDL window. Thinking. Wait, let's go to main. What do we have here? No. I think we probably just need this. So what this does, right, is when window gets created, this SDL window also gets created, right? It's default constructed, it's just a window. And when window gets deleted, this window gets deleted. Makes sense, right? This is what we want, right? This is like what we would expect would happen. But reality is never, or most of the time, not so simple. Because the SDL window requires custom cleanup code, this is not going to give us what we want. We need a custom deleter for this. And a custom deleter, right? Let's say the custom deleter is like a custom function that we can pass to a unique pointer. And that will, what that's going to do is it's not going to call like the default, I guess, delete function on the object that's inside of these brackets, right? Because the default delete is not gonna work, it's gonna crash. So when we give it a custom delete function, what we can do is we can say, hey, don't use the normal delete function that you would normally use. Use this function that is provided, that we provide. And when that function is used, then it actually does what it has to do, right? A quite obtuse and long-winded explanation for this is going to work. So let's see. Okay. So thinking. We have the deleters, right? I'm kind of thinking of just putting it in here. Should be fine, I think. So SDL window deleter, right? We have this without the // thank you, and then close this. We need, this is going to be a functor. That's, I think, what it's called. a function object. So the window deleter here, this is a struct which can be instantiated as if it were like an object, right? An actual entity. And all it does is it overloads this operator, right? The two brackets operator. So that's the function call syntax. And when that is overloaded, what you can do is you can just do something like SDL window later, and then you do this, and then the object acts as if it were a function, right? Because it calls this operator, and that's an actual function. Lots of programming thingies. So in here, because it's going to be, it's going to hold the SDL window pointer. Build the window, and then you have your actual function inside. Const, and then let's do a check, right? Not that this check is going to fail often, but defensive programming, right? The window exists, then SDL destroy window. Here it is, and it needs the window like that. So that's all fine and well, cool, awesome. But where do we use this? We use this as a second argument. Here, see, it says default delete, right? If you don't provide anything in here, it's going to use the default delete function, and that's not what we want. So what do we want? We want SDL window deleter. Cool, right? So this is our SDL window pointer. And now also we can't really have this defaulted at all, because we are going to use the SDL create window function to be able to actually create the thing. But we will have a couple of versions of this, right? So we also have one with like a const string reference, which is the window. You don't really need to provide window, just the name. It's complaining because it doesn't have the string header in this file. Also, this is singleton, right? We should do this, and also kind of, what was it? Control dot. Really? Why does it not find the singleton? Come on. Include singleton.h. Thank you. It's the window, a name, and then we'll have window, the name, and then an integer, which is the width, and then the height as well, making these consts because they are not to be modified inside of the function, right? Whatever we provide is whatever the function is going to get, and whatever the window size is going to be. We're not playing around. And then let's see, add include string. Yes, thanks. Now I always forget, how do we do the Lua things? We have a friend singleton, right? And okay, so yeah, I should also create the header guards for this. Oh man, that's such a big lifesaver, creating these header guards just from one right click. But yeah, I think these can here. Also, I'll separate these just so we have separations between functions. And singleton, and then in here we have window. This, I think it was Lua instance. Yes, and then it has defaults. So that's where I get tripped up most of the time, because this has a custom. Yes. Can I have a custom constructor with parameters? That's the question. Don't think I can. What else is a singleton at the moment? Find it. See. How does this singleton thingy work? Okay. There's no real way to like actually add constructor arguments to this, which is kind of okay, not that big of an issue, right? Back again, right? What we could have in here is like the width, right? Do I? No, I use lowercase, but then I don't. It's kinda. Okay. What do we want to do here? I should probably go with lowercase. Everywhere with like a uppercase starting is wrong. Yeah, I said it. So default construct. What could be a good default value for a window? Currently it's at 1920 by 1080. Keep it that way? Yeah, sure. And height. And then that's, what was it, 1080? Yes. And then a couple of things, right? What do we need? We need a couple of functions. like these can just go because they really don't help. I'm not gonna be able to be created, right? So we are going to have these functions. Copy these over. Then do a Control D and replace them with the window. No. Window. Like that. Thank you. These just make sure that we don't copy this singleton, right? Because we're only gonna have one ever. And if we want to change this, we can. It's not that big of a deal. But currently, a window, you just have one. Okay. Thinking. We're gonna have a lot of getters and setters, right? Let's see. Yeah. Let's start with like this, right? Const that, and then what was it? This, and then get height is also an integer. Then we have void set with with right void set height, also const int height, what else? The name, right? It's gonna be a copy of a string, get name, right? The const function, yeah, and then here again, no, it's a void here. Don't return anything while getting the name. Set the name, sorry. Set name. This is going to be const string reference without the capital. Name, right? Think what else? It's kind of all right. We could have positioning, right? Do we have tuples? Just like that. Could do it like this, but the issue is, does it find it? Okay, I think it does. Not sure if I want to use it this way. Yeah, I kind of don't want to use it this way. Think. Could use the GLM functions, right? GLM common should probably have vec2s, right? Does it not have? I think it's called. Is it not in common? God dang it! Where is it? GLM vec2. Does this have the integer version? No, these are. Where are the integer versions of these? Come on. Isn't that called like the integer vec? IVec or something? No. Please. These are vectors, okay. I'm gonna have to search this up. GLM. The types, yes. There is bvec, or I'm not sure what that is. See what it is. Boolean vectors of ew. Yeah, no. I want a vector integer types. No? I guess I have to use like the template version of GLM vec then. But that's not what I want, so I am going to just use tuples then. Yeah. Okay. An int, right? I think that's the correct way of using this. And I use a get window position, right? And then this is also const because it's get, right? I am not sure if you can set the window position though. SDL sets window position. I think you can. Okay. Okay, there is a way to do it. It takes in two integers, yes, and a window. Void that window position. And this is const int x, const int y. Yeah. And then this is going to call the SDL set window position function. What else is there about the window that we want to be able to query or do? I think that's about it, right? Destroy window, close it, right? Sure, I think do this. Oh, that's so nice. And then we can just keep doing this, and all of those functions get automatically created for us. Cool. And then create implementation, copy, create header guards. Oh, okay. Just let me write, please. Include and then it's just window.h, and everything works. So nice. Let me also go back and do a quick Alt D on this, and this can go to the top. Yeah. Cool. All right. So the window, put this, like the only job that the window constructor has is actually just filling the SDL window with I think it's something like we have to explicitly create a unique pointer, right? We can't do make unique pointer of type SDL window with, oh, my bad, with in here the SDL creates window function, right? This needs a title with height and then flags. Okay, so what are the flags? Ooh, okay. Cool. So what we could do is we can have a flag kind of yeah, a variable called flags, right? With some default values. Then we can have a function that says set flags, right? Which you pass like a new flags object to, and then it sets, like it tries to set the flags to that. And then we can have like individual functions that enable or disable like, specific flags, just like full screen, borderless, resizable, minimized, maximized, mouse grabbed, etc. But currently, let's see, do we have a name? No, we don't. The string title, not name. Title can be for now like default Spark, right? It's a good title. And then we also need the width height, and then we also need SDL. I think it was window flags, yes. And flags, right? The question is, how do we rate these default constructors? Let's see. Search it up. See. Okay. Okay. All right. So to be able to give this some basic default values, what we are going to do is we are going to set a cost to SDL with no flags, right? But what do we cost? We cost some basic flags. So window flags, does this have? No. But I think we had SDL window, and there's shown. It's window events. Okay, wait. We had it in. Remove this. Windows CPP. Yes. So for the flags, right? Either full screen, resizable, OpenGL, included, hidden, borderless, resizable, minimized, maximized, all of those things. So I think all we want is for now probably resizable, right? Not OpenGL. Just thinking. Not Vulcan, not metal, not transparent. Yeah, okay. I think all we want for now is just a resizable. Okay. So we don't really need to static cost this, but it's good practice to have it there, right? See. Then do this, right? We have our flags. I think that's all that we need. So if we go in here, all the other ones are already like initialized. So title is on the C string because that's what it asks of it. Width and height is going to be width. Height is going to be height. What else? And then the flags are going to be right. So okay, it does not like that. Oh yes, because we need the SDL window deleter here. Exactly. Okay, so get name, pretty basic. Return. I'm gonna have to rename this because it's not get name, it's title, please. Thank you. Oh no, this is not what I want. Only rename it in there. Yes. Oh, why would you even? What? So weird. Okay. Oh well. Turn. Nope. With, please. Thank you. In here. return the height, right? In here, what we can have is so SDL gets the window position, right? What does this do? This returns. Okay, cool. So in here we give it SDL window get, right? This is the internal SDL window pointer. We have two integers like that, and then we give their addresses x and then address of y. That's going to fill in these two integers, right? And then what we want to do is we want to return make. Oh wait, no, we have a better thing for this. We can use pair. Yeah, because why I think I have to specify these two again, and then I give it x and y. Like this should work, right? But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and why does it go into Lua instance? That's not what I want. If I say Alt O, yes. In here, this was tuple. Nope, you have to be pair. Pair, please. Thank you. So I go and no instance of function template matches the argument list. What do you want? Interesting. What does should make pair want? Yeah, okay, just two integers, right? This should work, no? What am I doing wrong? Y is an integer, yes. So don't really even need this. Right. Okay, I guess I was just being too verbose. Sure. Set width. This is just going to take in, well, I should do some checks in here, right? If width is just bigger, yeah, bigger or equal to at least 0, right? Well, maybe I should just say if it is less than 0, just return. Otherwise, width equals width, right? And then same goes for if height is less than 0. We just say return, please, thank you, and then we say height equals new height. This should also be changed. Title. Searching again. That is no. Only in the window. Yes, thank you. So weird. Why would anyone ever want that? And then, yeah, I don't think we really need to have any checks in here, right? Title equals, oh well, shouldn't be name, but it's okay. We go back in here. 12, no. Window.h, set title, and then you just change this to title, please. Thank you. And then set the window position is, I think, more or less the same as this, right? Don't really need to copy over these, and then just say set window position, and then not the addresses, but just the actual values, and we don't return anything. Okay. So if we go back into main now, main, please. Thank you. In here, we don't have to do this anymore. We also don't really need this, right? Because it's not really necessary. Create window now doesn't exist anymore. So actually what it is actual, this is reference to the window now. And then what we need is to create Spark window. Let's include that. Hashtag include window with a capital W, little h. This, nope, not that. Spark window. Here, get instance. So we're gonna create the window, right? Like that. And we should also not forget to add a function that still does enable us access to the SDL window pointer. Get SDL window is a good enough name, right? That's const, right? Doesn't return const, but function itself is const. Ooh, not right. And this just returns SDL window dot get. Oh, those brackets were like that. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's go back. Right. In main, this now cries because it needs an SDL window, not like just a normal window. Get SDL window. That should be fine now. If that's not correct anymore, you only want this. We'll quit SDL as well. Just the render is fine. And then in here, quit SDL, you only care about the render now because that's the only thing that exists. In here, it wants the SDL window pointer, which makes sense, sure. You can also do the window. Why do I keep switching keyboard layouts? Window dot get SDL window work. And then also quit SDL. You don't require a window anymore. I think we did a good job. Let's try and build. It got all quiet. No music. Okay, we're back. We're back, baby. Lots of warnings, but oh no. There has been an issue. Main 94. Oh, yes. There it is. Yeah, this is one of the main disadvantages of doing it like this, right? Everything that is actually just SDL related, you either wrap it in your own new like singleton class, right? Which takes a while. It's not gonna be easy. Or you just have to pass this everywhere that uses like the SDL window. And I'm not sure if there's an easier solution for this. See if everything still works. And okay. So you see something on the screen. But weirdly, I have a feeling that making the window resizable has messed some stuff up. Let's go in here and let's remove this for a second. And let's rebuild, relaunch. Nope. Okay, sure. You need something to the static cost. And no, okay. Something we did broke it. That's not nice. What could it be? Like everything else does like load successfully. So if you go into main, window gets created, right? Sure, this is our window. Is there like some place that we forgot to pass the correct window to? Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. What did we mess up? see what happens. So if you go in here, right? Sure. This is not what we want. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. It creates that with title spark, width and height. Like that. Okay. Cool. That's the deleter. That's window. Okay. I have a feeling that's correct. Does something happen inside of the render then? Create renderer. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's just continue. It creates properties. Yes, awesome. Thanks. So, I think, yeah. Kind of an issue, I think, with the get SDL window class thing that we have there. Sure. Let's see. I can close this. Thank you. All right. If we go into the window class, right? I have a feeling that the constructor is a bit wonky. Let's see. Oh. Wait. Title with height. Oh, no, okay. Oh, yes. I think I know why. So, let me teach you guys something about order of initialization in classes. So, whenever you initialize, like try and create an object of a certain type, these like member variables that this class stores are not initialized based on what you provide in the constructor. You would think so, right? But that's not the case. They get initialized in the order with like in the header. So I think if I do this, could fix it. I'm not sure. So don't take my word for it, but I have a feeling. Yeah, there it is. I was right. I'm not a bad programmer. Okay, everything still works, right? So if we do edit scripts, okay, everything still works. We are still goated. Nice. And now our window is a singleton, so we can query and do whatever we want with this window. And the same will go with the renderer, right? But we've been streaming for 2 hours now. What do we do? I'm gonna close off for today. Next time we'll do the render, and next time will probably be somewhere tomorrow noon-ish. We'll get the render done. We'll probably also start on getting them inside of Lua. And when we do that, then we'll be able to add render and draw commands from inside of Lua. And that's going to be amazing. We'll be able to draw stuff from our own scripts and then play stuff, right? All right. I thank you for watching this stream. It's been nice. We've talked about some nice stuff that we can do, what we will do. And yeah, this is also the first time I'm streaming both on OBS. Oh, not on OBS. I'm streaming via OBS, yes, but on Twitch and on YouTube. So if you ever wanna, I don't know, watch via YouTube, or yeah, the choice is yours. That's what I'm meaning. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow. Have a good night.